You know that feeling when you study for hours, your brain feels like a laptop running 47 Chrome tabs, and you go to sleep feeling proud, only to wake up the next morning with the mental equivalent of a factory reset. Good news is, your brain isn't broken. You didn't get dumber overnight. Your brain is simply doing what it does best, deleting anything it considers useless. Unfortunately, it tends to put your study notes in the same folder as yesterday's random thoughts. Meanwhile, in Japan, students memorize over 2,000 kanji characters, not just recognizing them, but writing them, reading them, understanding them, and remembering them for life. Their memory is basically set to lifetime warranty mode. So what's the secret? Are they superhuman? Do they study until 3 a.m. every day? Or is your brain just out here freelancing while theirs is following an actual schedule? Here's the twist. Japanese students don't study harder, they study in rhythm. They tune their brain like tuning a clock, while most people only tune their morning alarm. And in this video, I'll break down the entire system they use, a system so simple and so logical that after hearing it, you'll probably sit there wondering, wait, what have I been doing all this time? All right, let's dive in. Because after this, your brain will think twice before pressing the delete button again.
Morning, activating your brain on purpose. Most people think the day starts when they sit down at their desk, crack their knuckles, and force their brain to behave. But in Japan, the learning process starts way earlier, sometimes the moment they open their eyes. Because the brain isn't a machine you can power on like a microwave. It's more like soil. If it's cold, dry, and ignored, nothing grows in it. Kind of like your motivation on Monday mornings. Japanese students warm the soil before touching a single book. The first thing many of them do? Get sunlight. A short walk to school, standing near a window, even opening the curtains instead of living like a vampire. Natural light signals the brain, wake up, it's focus time. It boosts your morning cortisol at the right moment, sharpens memory, and tells your body that, yes, today still exists. Next comes movement. Not a workout, not a gym selfie session, just enough motion to get blood flowing. Science says even 10 minutes of gentle movement can boost memory recall by 20%. Imagine improving your memory just by walking like a normal human instead of rolling out of bed like a defeated burrito. Then comes the real magic, morning recall. Japanese students begin by remembering what they studied yesterday. Not rereading, not highlighting, actually pulling the information out of their brain. This simple habit tells the mind, hey, this is important, and strengthens the pathway before adding anything new. And for the final touch, small rituals. Pouring tea slowly, straightening their desk, one calm breath. These tiny moments tell the brain, pay attention, this matters. That's how the morning becomes the foundation of lifelong memory.
Afternoon. Studying in cycles, not suffering in silence. Here's where most students sabotage themselves. They treat the afternoon like a heroic marathon. 3 to 4 hours glued to a chair, eyes drying out, brain overheating, and somehow still expecting to learn something. That's not studying. That's cosplay as a houseplant. Japanese students do the opposite. They don't bully their brain into focusing. They work with it. And the secret lies in structured focus blocks. Think 40 minutes of actual concentration followed by 10 minutes of stepping away. Not scrolling, not falling into a YouTube hole. Just a simple pause to reset. Because the brain doesn't operate in one endless straight line. It works in waves. Peaks of attention followed by predictable dips. And here's the twist. During those 10-minute breaks, your brain is actually replaying what you just learned. While you stretch your back, stare at a tree, or pretend to organize your pen collection, your hippocampus is quietly sorting knowledge like a tiny librarian on caffeine. Then there's the afternoon mindset. Instead of rereading the same page until the letters start doing parkour, Japanese students shift tasks. a new subject, a different angle, a fresh mental lane. This prevents burnout and keeps the brain from slipping into autopilot, a state where you study for 2 hours and retain exactly zero information. And, because their energy remains stable, thanks to lighter lunches that don't trigger a full-body food coma, they can maintain this rhythm without crashing halfway through. The result? They retain more in 2 focused cycles than most students do in an entire afternoon of suffering.
Spaced repetition, the art of carving knowledge into your brain. Most people think the solution to forgetting is rereading a chapter 7 times until their eyes glaze over and their soul leaves their body. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. The brain gets bored, tunes out, and files the information under temporary garbage. Japanese students take a smarter route, spaced repetition. It's simple, scientific, and borderline magical. The formula looks like this. Learn it on day 1, recall it on day 2, again on day 4, again on day 7, then once more later. Each recall strengthens the memory like sharpening a blade. And here's the shocking part. This method takes less time than rereading, because you're not fighting your brain, you're training it. Think of it like saving a document. If you never hit save, you lose everything the moment the system crashes. Every spaced repetition session is basically clicking Save As long-term memory. And the more you repeat, the deeper the engraving becomes. It's like carving into stone instead of scribbling on a whiteboard. This is why Japanese students remember thousands of kanji years later, not because they're geniuses, but because they've mastered the rhythm of forgetting and recalling. They don't panic when they forget, they expect it. Forgetting is part of the process, not a sign of failure. And by the end of a month, the knowledge is so deeply ingrained that forgetting it would take more effort than remembering it.
Lunch and mindfulness. Memory can't beat a full food coma. Here's a truth everyone learns the hard way. It doesn't matter how brilliant your study routine is, once you eat a heavy, greasy lunch, your brain waves turn into elevator music. You can try to fight it, but biology does not bargain. And this is exactly why Japanese students approach lunchtime like a strategic operation. Their meals are lighter: rice, vegetables, fish, small portions. Nothing that sends the body into meltdown mode. It's not about being healthy for aesthetic points. It's about avoiding the kind of food that makes your brain pack its bags and disappear for the rest of the afternoon. A stable body means stable energy. And stable energy means your memory won't clock out at 1:30 p.m. Then comes the subtle weapon, micro-mindfulness. Tiny pauses, a single deep breath, adjusting posture, closing the eyes for 3 seconds, not to nap, but to reset attention. Western students often treat these moments like a luxury. Japanese students treat them like maintenance. Just like you restart your phone when it glitches, they restart their brain before it crashes. And here's the funny thing. These micro resets aren't dramatic. No meditation retreat, no Himalayan soundtrack, just small slices of stillness sprinkled throughout the day. But they prevent the slow death spiral of mental fatigue, the one where you read a sentence 6 times and still have no idea what planet you're on. That's how they stay sharp, steady, and awake while everyone else is fighting gravity after lunch.
Evening and sleep, where memory is actually built. Most people think studying ends the moment they close the book. They dramatically exhale, slam the laptop shut, and proudly declare, "I'm done." But in Japan, the evening isn't the end of learning. It's the part that decides whether your brain keeps the information or throws it straight into the trash bin. The magic move is simple. A light review before bed. Not an hour, not even 20 minutes. Just a quick glance at what you learned that day. It's basically sending your brain a polite memo. Please save this file before shutting down.
and the brain listens. During sleep, the hippocampus replays recent information like it's editing a highlight reel. Whatever you touched right before bed gets priority access to long-term storage. Then comes the real MVP, deep sleep. This is when the brain does its absolute best work, untangling facts, cleaning out useless junk, strengthening important pathways. But here's the catch. You only get this if your nighttime routine isn't chaos. Japanese students set the stage with dim lights, fewer screens, and calm rituals. Meanwhile, most people are out here watching videos at full brightness, basically telling their brain, haha, good luck trying to rest. And there's one more quiet habit, Kaizen, ending the day with one small step forward, one sentence in a journal, one kanji practiced, one flashcard recalled, not for progress, but for momentum. Finally, there's the concept of ma, the space between things, a moment of stillness before sleep, not dramatic, not mystical, just enough silence to let the brain shift gears. Because at light, biology takes over, and if you treat the evening right, your memory works for you while you're not even conscious.
Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Japanese students aren't smarter, gifted, or secretly running on some ancient brain cheat code. They simply follow a rhythm, a daily flow that works with their biology, instead of fighting it. Their mornings aren't rushed chaos. Their afternoons aren't self-inflicted torture sessions. Their evenings aren't digital circuses, and their nights aren't caffeine-fueled insomnia marathons. And when you stack those small habits day after day, something amazing happens. Knowledge doesn't just pass through the brain like a tourist. It moves in, pays rent, and stays for the long term. So here's the question. What if your problem was never, I can't remember things? What if it was just the method? What if you've been studying against your brain instead of alongside it? You don't need to adopt the entire Japanese routine overnight. You don't need to memorize 2,000 characters. You don't need to become a productivity monk. Just pick one tiny step. Morning sunlight, a recall session, a 40-10 cycle, a lighter lunch, a quick review before bed. One small rhythm is enough to change the feel of your entire day. Because the future doesn't belong to the people who grind the hardest. It belongs to the people who learn the smartest. So if this video gave you even one aha moment, don't leave it here. Hit subscribe. Share this with someone who's drowning in notes. And let's rebuild the way we learn. Together. Starting tonight.